are we demanding? The IG cannot hear you. What are we demanding? What are we demanding? What are we demanding?
Civil society organizations, CSOs in Nigeria, are calling for the urgent release of Daniel Ojukwu, a journalist with the Foundation Investigative Journalism. The CSOs were at the police headquarters in Abuja to protest the continuous detention of Daniel Ojukwu. The Nigeria police arrested Ojukwu on May 1st. They are deeply concerned about the perceived attacks on journalists by the Nigeria police, while calling for the release of Ojukwu, who has been in detention for over 8 days.
It is for all of you journalists to give the police a blackout. And I was disappointed when I got here this morning and journalists are not here in their thousands. All the journalists in Nigeria should have shut down, black out the federal government for this day. It's not about Daniel Ojukwu. They are after your jobs. They want to make sure that you cannot write what the police does not approve of. And your job as journalists is to expose, is to shine light on the government. Your jobs are guaranteed in the Nigerian constitution, their so-called 1999 constitution. Just as the police has a constitutional right to do what they are doing, journalists in Nigeria also have a constitutional right to write whatever they find necessary to protect the democracy in the country, to protect the masses. That's your job. But the police want to sit in their stations and control what you write with the Cybercrime Act of 2015. And don't forget, for those of you who may not know, the Cybercrime Act was signed into law by Jonathan. So when they are telling you that, when we tell you that this government, APC and PDP are the same, you get my point. Look at where we are now. We are discussing the release of a journalist in 2024. What the Cybercrime Act means with regards to what they have done to Ojukwu is what they call the sedition law during the pre-colonial and colonial era, where if you write anything against the white man who were the colonial masters, they will just summarily arrest and detain you indefinitely. That's what they are doing to Daniel Ojukwu now. And I've been involved in the last few days trying to get him bailed. The police is giving conditions, bail conditions as if Daniel Ojukwu committed murder. Go and bring 2 directors in the Federal Civil Service with landed property. How can you be a director in the Federal Civil Service and have landed property in Abuja if you are not corrupt? That's another oxymoron. So that's what they are doing. But I think they are also pushing the Nigerian people once again. You see, as we keep telling them, this is how we started NSAS. We came here, said, you should disband NSAS. They said, no. Uba was his police spokesperson then. We met here. We told them very soon, this thing will consume you. In their usual arrogance, they objected to it until the whole country went down. Because they don't understand that beyond what they are doing to Ojukwu now, Nigerians are very upset with the government. Don't forget that this Cybercrime Act is also the reason why the Central Bank of Nigeria is now extorting money from you to pay for a cyber security levy. It's part of the Cybercrime Act. So, but the interesting thing is that the CBN is using the amended Cybercrime Act to extort you. The police is using the old Cybercrime Act to oppress journalists.
It's not about getting a good lawyer. Daniel was unlawfully arrested and is unlawfully detained because he wrote a story. He's not a criminal. The valid information in the reports basically looks at what he has written. Somebody used 147 million naira to implement a project from government funds, from the funds which are from the taxes of Nigerians. Daniel has just taken that information and written and validated that information that the project that was implemented is nowhere to be found. But, he's been in prison for that purpose. So the question is, what has he done to demand that he's a criminal? So he doesn't need a good lawyer. We are saying, charge him to court, charge him for whatever he has done, and let's see if he will not bring a good lawyer. So that's the situation here. My name is Ode, Friday Ode from Accountability Lab. Friday Ode from Accountability.
According to the group, attacks on journalists had become a growing concern, threatening press freedom in Nigeria.
The thing we see within the Nigerian space and the idea behind the unlawful arrest and detention of Daniel Ojukwu was because he wrote a story about accountability and transparency in government. Once you speak out and speak truth to power, it feels like we're not safe in this country. So what we have to demand accountability, we have to hold our government to account to the monies they spend according to how they spend engage on fiscal reforms or fiscal transparency. If you look at the budget where Ojukwu has taken, Daniel has taken his information from, is from the national budget, from procurement processes, and also the reports which is on the Open Gov Transparency website. But now he's been detained he's been detained and handled as a criminal. We say this is unacceptable, this is unwarranted, and we demand his release immediately. We want a country where people are able to speak, because freedom of expression is a guaranteed right for Nigerians. So we are able to speak truth to power in this kind of situation. As it is for us, we are all journalists as of today, and we'll continue to speak truth to power as it is.
The protesters were received by the Commissioner of Police, Federal Operations, and the Commissioner of Police, FCT.
Attacks seem to take is that the instrumentality of the Nigerian security apparatus is set loose on these individuals as soon as they express views unfavorable to the administration, or in the case of journalists, as soon as they publish credible stories that cast the administration in an unflattering light. The expression of opinions, however critical, that are of the government, the expression of opinions, however critical they are of the government, is one of the critical bedrocks of democracy. Consequently, we unequivocally condemn Daniel Ojukwu's abduction and unlawful detention as unconstitutional, illegal, immoral, and unbecoming of a country that claims to practice democracy. We maintain that for Nigeria to claim its status as the continent's largest democracy, the institutions and law enforcement agencies must uphold established standards and procedures consistent with democratic norms. Until then, Nigeria cannot reconcile the title of the largest democracy in Africa with the practices and principles reminiscent of a police state. We also condemn the incessant use and abuse of the remand order process, which observed to be the new machinery for which the Nigerian police continuously violates the rights of Nigerian citizens. It is discovered that the police boast of obtaining a remand order without providing such a document for the suspect or his lawyers to see whenever they unlawfully arrest individuals. Even when such orders are obtained, it is usually cloaked with suspicion, as the court from which it is obtained is usually miles away from the police station where the suspect is detained, even where there is an established court within a shorter distance of the police station. This is contrary to the rule of law, and it should be of great concern to the police that it would be seen by the general public as an institution that acts and conducts its duties contrary to the rule of law, which is critical to the sustenance of our democracy. Mr. Daniel Ojukwu, if he has been accused of a crime, should be promptly charged and given a fair trial under Nigerian law, which presumes innocent until proven guilty. As such, his continued detention is equivalent to an extrajudicial trial and punishment. Exactly. It is in the Inspector General of Police interest to offer opportunities for the international community to rate the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration's compliance and respect for its fundamental human rights commitment positively. Premised on the above, we demand the following. 1. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, ensures Daniel's immediate release and uphold his fundamental human rights.
That our Inspector General of Police will definitely take a step towards the liberation of Daniel Ojukwu. Or if it means charging him, it will be done so accordingly. Thank you very much. I will communicate to them, and I believe that appropriate action will be taken. Please, I really appreciate the way you people came in, and I want you to go back in peace and without people hijacking this situation to commit other crimes. Thank you.
Every Nigerian citizen has his rights. which includes journalists. For the fact somebody is a journalist does not exculpate him from offense. If you're a journalist and you commit strong offense, we will arrest you and we will prosecute you, and like every other citizen. For the fact you're a journalist and you commit an offense does not mean you will not be arrested and you will not be prosecuted. So this one, we have looked into the matter. There's no need of this protest. The force management team has taken a lot of things into consideration to release him. We and the press are friends. We are partners in progress.
Ojukwu was arrested in Lagos and later transferred to Abuja. He was detained by the police under the alleged violation of the Cybercrime Act, a law often criticized as a tool for censorship, which has sparked concerns about its potential misuse.